Everyone, and welcome to our panel discussion on AI-augmented design, so scaling creativity and efficiency without compromising quality. My name is Bartek, and I'm senior product designer that is passionate about exploring how technology can amplify creativity in the design process. And today I'm joined by Sören, a design director from Sinch. Thank you so much for joining us. But rather than me doing all the talking, Sören, could you tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, your role at Sinch?
Sure. Yes. Hello, everyone. I'm Sören. As Bartek said, I'm a design director at Sinch. I'm based in Munich, Germany. Sinch itself is a global company. I have colleagues all around the world, from Australia through India, through Sweden, where the company originally came from, to the US, to Brazil, really all around the world. And at Sinch, we connect businesses to customers via a variety of channels like SMS, RCS, email, or WhatsApp, and also, again, all around the world, really. At Sinch, I lead the design for content and lifecycle team and marketing. And we focus on creating impactful, brand-aligned content, and that at a scale. And in my nearly 20-year career in design and media, I have seen how different technologies have changed over time. Some technologies have risen, and the same now goes, of course, for AI. And especially with my team at Sinch, but at Sinch in general, we are really exploring how AI can help us in our daily life, in our day-to-day jobs, to scale our creativity in a way, while, of course, maintaining our high standards. And so I'm really looking forward to this talk, to discuss some of these huge questions around AI. Agatha, Carlos, and Joe, just in the talk before, already brought up some really good points. I think that we can hop on to discuss. And I think it's really interesting. Most of the talks we heard today were mostly from the product perspective and from product design. So I think with some points from a marketing perspective and design for marketing, I think I can bring in some other points here. So thank you so much to Netguru for the invitation. And yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's actually true that most of the talks were focused on the product, and here we'll be talking a little bit about brand strategy and marketing. So I'm really curious, and I would love to hear from you. How is your team currently using AI in your design workflows, and what specific processes or tasks does it enhance? And how has it helped speed up the overall design process?
I mean, I've got to be honest, we are still overall in the very early phases of exploring how we can use AI in our workflows. But already we've seen some really significant promise. So there are a couple of things that we are already doing that is mostly the types of things that Adobe has implemented in their solution, that Figma has implemented in their solution. We are working a lot in Figma. Thing is, especially the Figma parts are more oriented towards product design, UI design, of course, but then especially in the Adobe and Photoshop, what is there, just like expanding images or just tweaking and refining smaller details is a kind of task that previously would have taken hours to do, to fine tune, paint around, whatever. And now I just put a rough mask, say okay, please add this or that. And then I can just select the results and see if it's good enough, or maybe paint a little bit of detail. But yeah, it's already the efficiency that we get from that, and the work times have drastically reduced just through these. And then we are really looking into like what are the points in our workflows, in our daily workflows that we can enhance with AI. One really large point is the question of using stock photos for certain things, which just the research, if you need something very specific, takes a lot of time. So that's like one of the spaces where we are looking into different things. And so right now we are running different trials with systems like Run Diffusion, Think Diffusion, Adobe Firefly, just to see like, okay, how can this contribute to our workflows and make us better.
Mm-hmm. And so I'm just being curious, do you have any tool that you like the most from those that you just mentioned? Or you are exploring all of them, and for now it's too early to say which one is the
I mean, for now, overall, it's too early to say. What I really like about the Adobe approach is that they are just implementing the solutions into the existing tools. It's not a completely new tool, a new UI, a new structure that we need to learn, but it's really just, okay, I'm used to Photoshop. I've been working with Photoshop for I don't know how many years now. And it's just new functionality in there, in the tools that I already use in my day-to-day work. So I think that is really great. And they have made some impressive updates just in the past few months and weeks. So yeah, that's what I really like.
Okay, thank you. I think that one of the challenges with using AI in design is making sure that it produces work that feels consistent with your brand. Yeah, and especially that you work for marketing team. So I wanted to ask you, what strategies do you use to ensure that AI generated work maintains brand consistency?
I think yeah, as you say, it's a huge challenge because yeah, I cannot understand like things like tone of voice or brand identity. I mean, you can theoretically decide, okay, I'm gonna train like a whole new AI model just on our brand, and then the output will be brand conform. But the reality is like that's a level of scale that is not feasible for us and for most marketing teams, because yeah, like that's just too much. So the question is like, how do you give it the guardrails that you need? And like one of the very big things is that we don't use AI as like the magic one-click solution button. So nothing that goes out is just a fully AI generated image or graphic. Like that will never happen. AI will always be a tool in the pipeline for specific steps. That's how also we can use like different AI tools for different steps depending on what is needed at that point. But in the end, it always needs like the human touch or like the hand of a designer who brings it into the brand conform space. But of course, like, and that's where we are right now in the experimentation, that we are looking into these systems like a Run Diffusion to see, okay, how can we configure these control nets, all these different factors that you can play around with in there, in a way to deliver you the output that is close enough to the brand style that with just some few adjustments, you can then use it for whatever you want to use it for.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned a very important thing, I believe, that AI working like a standalone tool is not something that we will be seeing in the future. It's rather a mix of the human and computer and AI. So I wanted to ask, in which areas of the design do you feel AI has the most potential, and where does it fall short?
I mean, as I already mentioned, like stock photos. So to make it maybe a little bit broader, let's say footage. Just like right now, what you had to do was like go out and photograph things, or of course buy it from a stock library. Or if you need video, you had to go out and shoot things, and like you had to have that input, and like that production. It's a lot of effort. It's a lot of time, and it's also a lot of like what's the right word? Like it's you can't really ensure that everything is the way you need it, is on brand when you produce this kind of thing. So I think, and that's AI has a huge potential to not fully replace that. There's still definitely a place for good photo shoots for things, but especially for like the quick like social asset productions, it can really help you speed up this process and give it to you there. And same as I said, like everything needs to be touched by someone. I don't believe AI is the right choice for like the finishing touches, the confectioning of things. Like I can definitely see a world where like you have some standardized frames and the AI can put them over that, but the finalizing, the final approval, the final double checking that there is no typo, etc. We just can't rely on AI to deliver that, because there's always like room for the hallucinations, for the issues that AI brings with it. So it always, before anything goes out, it will always need a double check.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So yeah, we are like spinning around the human that is important in this process, and adopting AI often means a shift in how teams work and think. Yeah, so these designers may need new skills or even new ways of collaborating with one another and with the AI itself. So how do you prepare your team to the challenges of working with AI tools?
I mean, the reality is AI is kind of unavoidable, like especially in design. That's the reality of it. We work with it now. We are just at the beginning, but it's coming more and more. And I don't believe there is a way around it at the moment in this kind of area. The question is, how do you use it? How do you enable everyone to use these tools, to play around with it now, and to later really work with this? And I think that's the way to go, and that's everyone else on the team has to do. And so when I said that we are in the very early stages of doing this kind of research, like the whole team is part of this process, and doing the experimentation and testing out these different systems and playing around and figuring out like, okay, how can this serve us better and make us more efficient? And so we have that level of the do-it-yourself education, and then we also actually we go out and try to find additional educational resources for the team. Like we went to the Design Conference Forward Festival in Berlin and did a great workshop with the Michael Jonas, who is a professor from the Brand University, and around like very practical, very hands-on around creation of images with AI systems and all of these things. And like that was what originally kickstarted our whole process of going this way and creating this kind of almost task force to start the research and figure out how it fits into our workflows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see the same at Netguru, that for the moment it's really unknown what the future will brings and how it will actually impact the design process. We are trying, but we are not there yet. but hopefully one day we will be able to use it at its full potential. So yeah, AI can be actually a powerful tool, but with great power it comes great responsibility. Yeah, so we have a actually question from the audience. How do you feel about ethics here? Yeah, so what are the ethical responsibilities of designers when using AI tools?
It's complex and complicated, and I think maybe to take a slight step back even. The question is for me also is like how do we as a brand want to come across, like when someone visited our website or sees a video from us or sees a social post from us, like should it be an obviously AI generated image that is the first touch point that someone has with us as a brand? And I think there is a huge risk in that because there is a sentiment around AI, and if I look at the new Christmas campaign from Coca-Cola, to go to like a completely different type of brand, like they now release their Christmas advertising, and it's completely AI generated, or at least they claim it is. I'm very sure that especially around the actual company logos, there was a lot of like manual retouching in there, but you see it. You watch this video, and it has this feeling of this. You could call it AI slop. There's like a blurriness to the movement. You just see it and you know it's not real, and I think every brand has to make this decision. Is this how we want to represent ourselves outside? And so when it comes to human models, I think it is a huge risk to do that, and that every company, every brand has to really think hard of if that's what they want to do. And when I talk about how we can implement it into our pipelines, it is mostly about like detailed shots, about objects, like that we need in a very specific context, where previously we were researching through the stock photo databases, and we needed like a set of car keys in like this kind of angle and in a way that we can easily cut it out and use it in our brand world. And that type of research just took more and more time the more specific the request was, or the need was. And these are the kinds of things where I can see the huge potential for us to generate something with AI. And to be honest, if I need like in our context, we have a lot of people interacting with their phones, and if I need like a person interacting with their phone, like there are more than enough real stock photos of real people in good poses, and we also do our own photo shoots around that to be even more in our brand style. And that's an invaluable resource. Why would I replace that with like the effort of trying to generate a photorealistic person in AI, when like then we always come back to the like, is it worth the time invest, and how quickly do I get results that are to the standard that I need them? And when we talk about objects, that's like, then it's good. And when I talk about humans, then then the scale completely tips, because yeah, we just know how a human person is supposed to look. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's like this questions around ethic and around AI. This is something that will raise even more in the future, and I'm really curious what actually the future will brings. But as we look ahead, AI is likely to become an even bigger part of the design process. But what that looks like, it's still being defined. Yeah. So, how do you see AI reshaping the role of designers in the future?
Mm, I mean, I already talked about like what is happening right now in tools like Photoshop, like Figma. The time savings is real. We see that immediately. Tasks that took like hours previously we are now able to do in just a couple of minutes. So I think for these kinds of tasks, AI really can take over the heavy lifting, the work that was manual, but not the work that was creative. That's the thing, because in the end, the creativity is the decision to say like, okay, I want to change this photo in this way because I need this and that, because I need B and C. And this creative decision, I don't believe AI can take that over. You can use it for inspiration. You can use it to like play around with things. But in the end, you need a human to make the decision what needs to go where and how do I want to arrange things in the end. And I think we can also see that like how all these AI tools now enable especially much smaller teams to achieve things on scales that previously only large teams could do, which is going to be a challenge. Then the other challenge from the other side is going to be like, how do you justify larger teams in the end? And but I still believe there is this core creativity that needs this human touch, because otherwise everything just comes exchangeable. And how I think Carlos in the previous talk mentioned how AI basically can only look into the present and the past and connect the dots there. It can't look into the future, and it can never give you an actual new idea, because that's not what it does. It can give you inspiration to maybe go there, but it can never give you a new idea. It's just a kind of remix machine in a way.
Okay, we have just 1 minute left, and there's another question from the audience. Which AI-driven changes at work you really love? Yeah, so is there something that you really love and you're looking forward to even enhance in the future?
I think it really is that kind of speed that I get when I work with the tools. Like I said, I've worked for 20 years in design and in media in different ways, and when I look at the time that I quote unquote wasted, like doing tedious things to get to the point where I needed, while my brain was already, okay, I get this, I do this, and I want to go there. And like the way that these new tools now speed up how we can work, so that we are getting to the point where the tools, the technology, finally is able to keep up with the speed of human creativity. Because before it was always we always had to go through this bottleneck of the technology to get to the results that we wanted to. And I think that is just amazing for the creative process.
Yeah, I totally agree that now we are able to design faster and speed up the process. So yeah, great. Thanks for sharing your insight and experience today. It was really fascinating to explore with you how AI is shaping the future of design and what that means to all of us. So thank you, Sören, again for joining us. And as it was our last panel today, thank you all for joining us, for all of your questions. And I just wanted to mention that Disruption Forum will have another meetup, Engineering Horizon, on December 3rd. So hope you see you there. So thank you again.
Thank you for having me.